Captain America versus Soldier Boy. The Star Spangled Man with a plan, the First Avenger, was going up against a dark and twisted copycat version of himself, Soldier Boy. So who's going to be coming out on top here? And is it even going to be close? Let's get into it. While the official backstory told by Vought was that Soldier Boy was born dirt poor and learned the values of hard work, tenacity, and bravery, in reality he was born into a wealthy family and was sent off to a boarding school, where he eventually flunked out. After joining up with the military, he then used his family's connections to get tested with Compound V, officially becoming Soldier Boy, a true, living, breathing American hero. With his newfound powers, he was allegedly slaughtering Germans by the dozen in combat, but this was really all a lie. Instead, Vought mostly just used him for wartime propaganda, instead of actually letting him fight real Nazis. He was too valuable to the company to risk. From there, Soldier Boy remained a major superhero for the next few decades, all while working black ops for the US government, spraying civil rights activists in Birmingham, killing anti-war protesters at Kent State, maybe even possibly assassinating JFK. You know, fun stuff like that. Soldier Boy was also the leader of Payback. Although some leader, he was physically and mentally abusive, constantly tried to keep everybody else down, and prevented them from building careers of their own. He was basically a giant jerk and the team hated him. So it probably wasn't really a surprise that when Vought decided to move on from Soldier Boy, some new kid was coming around. I think his name was Homelander or something like that. Well, Payback jumped at the opportunity to put down their leader and handed him over to the Russians. Now, Soldier Boy is obviously incredibly powerful. Like, he was the first hero who showed us what being equal to Homelander really means. If you're a normal guy, if you're just a human, well, just get out of the way, because he can easily kill you in an instant. He can throw cars around like they're little toys. Even his shield is crazy heavy. I mean, normal people can't even really move it. Soldier Boy can easily throw it around with just one hand. He was able to overpower all of Payback all by himself, basically nearly killed Black Noir and left him with brain damage. And then he was able to match up against Homelander, beat up against Homelander, trade blows, catch his punches. Most importantly, he left Homelander scared. First time we've ever seen Homelander show any kind of fear. So yeah, Soldier Boy is strong. He's also incredibly tough. He's durable enough to take assault rifles fired at point blank range right into his mouth, being burned alive, cut by power saws and blades, being stabbed against his eyes. It all did nothing. The Russians tried for literally decades to conduct all these experiments to try and test his durability, and ultimately, they didn't even end up being able to hurt him at all. He took attacks from each member of Payback. He took attacks from Homelander and didn't go down. He's likely the only guy that Homelander has ever truly gone all out against and not been able to injure. And Soldier Boy can even survive the impact and radiation of his own explosions. It was said he was packing more radiation inside of him than a nuclear reactor. And of course, we gotta talk about Soldier Boy's own radiation blast. He can launch out powerful radiation from his chest, causing some absolutely massive explosions, just leveling everything all around him. And it's not just that. The radiation burns so hot that it's enough to literally burn all the Compound V from a soup's bloodstream, leaving them powerless if it doesn't straight up kill them. Born in the 1920s, Steve Rogers always felt a strong duty towards his country, the desire to help defend those who couldn't help themselves. However, Steve was just a scrawny, weak kid and wasn't even allowed to enlist in the army for World War II. However, because of his strong desire to serve, well, he was selected for the Super Soldier Project, being transformed into the pinnacle of human potential. Now known as Captain America, well, he led the charge against the Nazis and Hydra before being left frozen in the Arctic at the end of the war. However, Captain America was eventually revived in the modern day. Now he's the leader of the Avengers as they fight for truth, justice, and freedom. Being a super soldier, well, Captain America is obviously superhuman. There's been a little debate on just how strong Steve really is, whether he's superhuman or just the pinnacle of human potential, but regardless, he can bench press several tons as just a warm-up. He can easily tear through metal, he can throw around cars, and he's actually routinely holding up several tons of rubble, or just simply picking up heavy things. And all that strength is definitely evident when Steve throws a punch, or when he starts throwing his shield around. He's been able to hurt Spider-Man with his punches. He straight up knocked out bulletproof humans with a punch. He's even been able to damage Iron Man and tear apart his armor with his fist. And again, when Steve starts throwing around his shield, well, he's been able to destroy vehicles, bring down helicopters, destroy robots, or dismantle tanks. Captain America is ridiculously strong. Captain America is also ridiculously superhumanly tough. He's been smashed through walls and had buildings dropped on him, been just fine. He's taken punches from Namor and Spider-Man and Iron Man and even the Hulk and survived. He's been caught up in massive explosions, even at point-blank range, and not a scratch on him. Really just been more pissed off than anything else. The times when he's been shot or stabbed, well, sometimes Cap doesn't even notice until it's pointed out to him later. And with his shield, well, Cap is basically able to take planet-level attacks like it's nothing. Thor, Hulk, Hercules, Thanos, Ultron, all of them have tried to damage the shield and none of them have succeeded. It can block everything that comes its way. It's literally indestructible. It can even survive attacks from universal gods like Celestials. My man is tougher than tough. He's also faster than fast. Everything about him is superhuman, including his perception, which means that he's not just dodging bullets because of years of training and reflexes, but he's actually able to see the bullet coming his way and then simply move. He's that fast. He's one of the fastest street level heroes out there, routinely matching the speed of Daredevil, Iron Fist, or even Spider-Man. He's even able to get his shield to block bullets after they've been fired, block electricity, or even block light-based attacks. Basically, between Captain America's speed and his skill with that shield, well, it's dang near impossible for him to get hit, and you can be sure he's going to get his hits in. And it's not just enough that Captain America is the ultimate super soldier, the pinnacle of human potential. He's also one of the world's best fighters, a top 10 fighter in the Marvel Universe. He's got one of the best fighting minds on Earth, to the point where he can become an expert in any weapon within seconds and master a fighting form after just a few minutes. And so Cap has done just that. He's mastered every single martial arts known to man and didn't stop there, but started mastering different alien fighting styles throughout the universe. He's a one-man army in a fight, able to take down whole teams of supervillains all by himself, and has consistently matched up against some of the best fighters in Marvel, including Daredevil, Black Panther, Iron Fist, and Shang-Chi. Captain America is also the expert when it comes to his shield. He knows it better than he knows himself, and is the perfect weapon for a soldier like Rogers. Whenever he throws it, it will always come back to him, regardless of physics or science. And it's the ultimate combination of offense and defense in any fight. So, who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, originally I thought about pairing the MCU version of Captain America versus Soldier Boy. That's just a little bit unfair, because for as powerful as that version of Steve is, unless you give him Mjolnir, he's not taking down Soldier Boy. He's not beating a guy who can no-sell automatic gunfire in the mouth. But what about the comic book version of Captain America? Well, he's regularly been able to fight against bulletproof opponents, and it might be no different here today. Like, Captain America might just be peak human in the comics, but peak human is really code for an insanely powerful superhuman. Like, Captain America has been able to damage bulletproof steel with his punches. He's been able to stagger bulletproof giants. He's been able to knock around Nuke, who can take grenades and bullets. He's even hurt Spider-Man, who was in the bulletproof Iron Spider armor. And all of this was just with his fists, not even mentioning his shield. Because with that shield, well, he's slicing clean through trucks and even whole tanks. That's arguably comparable to what Maeve did with the armored truck. I mean, Maeve is stronger, and that one's more impressive, but cutting through a tank with that shield is still something else. And if Maeve can hurt Homelander, who's supposed to be an upgraded version of Soldier Boy, well, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Captain America can hurt Soldier Boy with his punches, especially with his shield strikes. Again, Steve can hurt Spider-Man. Soldier Boy isn't necessarily anything new to him here. And that goes for Soldier Boy's power output too. Now, Soldier Boy can definitely throw a punch. I mean, the man was able to hurt Homelander, the first guy we ever saw do that. With his explosions, well, those are able to level buildings. It's not like Captain America would just brush all that off, no problem. But he has been able to take punches from Spider-Man, and superior Spider-Man on top of that. So you know he wasn't holding back. And that's not the only super strong guy that Captain America has been able to brush off. That's a fairly routine thing for him. That's even assuming that Soldier Boy will be landing too many hits here. Cap is regularly blocking all sorts of attacks with his shield. Attacks from the likes of Thor, no less. So you know Soldier Boy isn't putting a scratch on that thing. And as for Soldier Boy's explosion, well, Captain America has taken a point-blank explosion from Gambit, where literally his uniform was exploding on him. And Cap was more just pissed off than anything else. And with his shield, well, he's blocked an extinction-level event from a Celestial. So again, Soldier Boy isn't putting a scratch on that. Then there's also just the fact that Captain America is faster than Soldier Boy. When actually in a fight, he's infinitely more skilled than Soldier Boy. And I really think this is Steve's fight to lose. He's regularly been able to hold his own against more powerful guys than Soldier Boy. And Steve is definitely more of a threat than almost anyone Soldier Boy has faced before. This isn't just another recreation of his fight with Black Noir. Captain America is definitely more formidable than that. It'll be a close fight, but if Captain America can fight against someone like Spider-Man or Wolverine, then he's going to be able to beat up on Soldier Boy. Captain America wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're going to have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.